Good evening and welcome to Kini News. The parliamentary seat of Sungai Siput has long been a stronghold for MIC, with their former president Sami Velu holding the seat for 3 decades. However, that all came to an end in 2008 when he was unseated, and since then MIC has not been able to win it back. Yesterday, the Sungai Siput Puteri Umno division chief had a message for MIC, and let's say the MIC isn't taking it very well.
MIC Vice President C Sivarraajh said that UMNO leaders have to learn to respect their partners from the component parties in Barisan Nasional. In a statement today, he said that if UMNO was not satisfied with MIC, they should tell them directly at the BN Supreme Council meeting, instead of sending a representative to do it. He said this in response to a call by Sungai Siput Puteri Umno chief Norazura Abdul Karim for MIC to let UMNO contest the Sungai Siput seat in Perak in the next general election. In a Facebook post today, Norazura had said that Sungai Siput was represented by MIC in every election up until 2008, but in the last 3 elections, MIC had been unable to win the seat, and it was time for BN to hand over the seat for UMNO to contest, and for the seat to be given to the party that can win it again. In his response, Sivarraajh said that Sungai Siput was the traditional seat for the MIC president. He added that UMNO leaders should not be arrogant and stop asking for all the seats as if they could win all the ones they contested. He said MIC and MCA had been loyal to UMNO in BN since its inception and had not strayed away during difficult times. He also questioned why important matters were not discussed at the BN Supreme Council meetings. Sivarraajh pointed out how it was them who wanted to work with PAS through Muafakat Nasional and with Bersatu through Perikatan Nasional, but when the cooperation did not go the way they planned, they fought against them without any discussion with other component parties. He added that UMNO should settle their internal problems before meddling in the affairs of their partners, and called for them to reply to MIC President S.A. Vigneswaran on who would be the BN Prime Minister candidate. He said, if UMNO was strong enough and did not need the support of the component parties, it would be better for them to contest using the UMNO flag instead of under Barisan Nasional in the 15th general elections.
Khairi Jamaluddin has called for his fractured party UMNO to hold its own internal elections before the next general elections as a way of settling the, quote, internal chaos currently engulfing it.
The only way for UMNO to resolve the internal problems it is facing is for the party to bring forward the party elections. This is according to Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Khairi Jamaluddin. In a Twitter post today, he urged the Supreme Council to do the right thing and not suspend the party elections until after the next GE. He said, the party elections should have been held this year, and UMNO must face the general elections with a leadership that has a clear mandate and which can gain the support of the people. Party elections are due to be held every 3 years. The last time the party held elections was on June 30th, 2018, when UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi enjoyed a comfortable win against Khairi and Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah. However, while the next elections are due by July, UMNO Election Committee Chairperson Muhammad Hassan recently said the polls would only be held if there was no general election this year. Khairi's post came following the UMNO General Assembly over the weekend, which saw existing divisions between the party being highlighted. Throughout the 2-day UMNO AGM proceedings, there were repeated calls for UMNO members to close ranks. Zahid had also received an overwhelming show of support for a motion to empower him and the Supreme Council to decide when they would leave the PN government.
At the UMNO General Assembly over the weekend, their president Ahmad Zahid Hamidi dismissed that there are any negotiations with other parties, running contrary to PKR President Anwar Ibrahim, saying that he was already in informal talks with UMNO. They can't both be right now, can they?
What about he said there's no cooperation with you or with the AP? Do you have any comment? Because earlier you said you were in talks.
I say in discussions, yeah. We continue to discuss. I discussed all parties. I was with Anifah Haman just now. So in a democracy and a mature process, we need to be able to engage. It's very important, based on the core values and principles. Because otherwise, without this being agreed, we have seen the limitations even of our Pakatan Harapan government. You see, so it must be now. We have learned our lesson. We cannot compromise on these shared principles.
This was PKR President Anwar Ibrahim's response on Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's dismissal of his previous claim of discussions between their parties ahead of the 15th general elections. At the UMNO General Assembly on Sunday, Zaid had stressed that UMNO did not have any negotiations with any other party. Zaid said UMNO's stand was still permanent and final, which was not to accept working with Anwar, DAP or Bersatu. He added that there have been no discussions with any of those parties either formally or informally. This was contrary to Anwar's previous claims of ongoing initial stage talks. When asked for his comments on Zaid's speech at the sidelines of the Malaysia Democracy Forum today, this was what Anwar had to say.
No, I think he's referring to the earlier decision of the Supreme Council, but they have also the mandate to, in the last resolution, probably to leave the Perikatan Nasional Government. So there is this apparent contradiction, which I think is up to the UMNO leaders to decide and resolve this.
All 17 UMNO ministers and deputy ministers will remain with Muhyiddin Yassin's Perikatan Nasional Administration until August, and this is according to Party Supreme Council member Zahidi Zainul Abidin. He said they were informed of the decision following a meeting between UMNO ministers and the Prime Minister that took place in Putrajaya yesterday.
Several UMNO ministers met Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin at the Prime Minister's office yesterday evening. According to Bernama, the meeting began at 5:30 p.m. and lasted more than 1 hour. Their cars were seen leaving the building at 6:45 p.m. It was reported that Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob, Energy and Natural Resources Minister Shamsul Anwar Nasrah, and Health Minister Dr. Adam Baba were among those seen leaving the building. The meeting came a day after the UMNO General Assembly, where the party leadership received a clear mandate to decide when to withdraw support from Perikatan Nasional. This followed a clean break decision, which was reached by the UMNO Supreme Council to sever ties with Bersatu. Muhyiddin is the president of Bersatu and is also the chairperson of PN. The UMNO Assembly had also approved a motion for all MPs from UMNO and Barisan Nasional to stop supporting the PN government once Parliament is dissolved. UMNO Deputy President Muhammad Hassan, in his speech, indicated that the preliminary exit timeline is in August, which is when the state of emergency comes to an end.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
In the middle of this mess of parties trying to go their own way in the 15th general elections is PAS. In a cryptic message today, PAS President Abdul Hadi Awang thinks friends shouldn't be rough with one another. What does that mean? That's up to you to figure out. PAS President Abdul Hadi Awang said the problem today is the disunity among Muslims and his party will focus on the agenda to unite the Ummah. In a statement on Facebook today, he said this meant all Muslims and non-Muslims who are not extreme. He said for this to happen, they should not be rough with their friends and instead build relationships and unity among themselves. He added that they shouldn't be the cause of a split and should be patient and become a peacemaker. Hadi said this was his answer on questions about the political situation that is happening currently in the country. He did not mention who was being referred to in the message. However, his advice comes after delegates at the UMNO General Assembly decided that the party will not continue to cooperate with Bersatu. Hadi was present at the assembly on Sunday, but he declined to answer queries from the media when asked about UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's policy speech that touched on UMNO discontinuing its cooperation with Bersatu. That's a wrap for Kini News this evening. For more stories, go on over to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest news updates. Now, before we go, if you would like to support the independent media, you can go to malaysiakini.com and check out our subscription page where you can find some attractive deals there waiting for you. If you're heading out, don't forget your mask. When you can, try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.